Hello again, everybody. Louise Eddington, Cosmic Owl of Cosmic Owl Astrology. I am also known as a wisdom weaver, and I'm here today to weave the threads of the weekly forecast beginning June. What date am I beginning? June the 1st. Gosh, what's time at the moment? So, anyway, this week is packed. We are dancing through a fire forged Venus, Chiron, and Eris initiation, an epic Leo moon tangle, and one of the most important weeks for recalibrating your heart, your healing, and your raw. Guess what? I'm also deep in the final stretch for my book release on July the 13th. Ceres in Astrology, Nourishment, Power, and the Rebirth of the Feminine. It's coming in hot, just like the skies. It's being formatted right now, and I'm so excited. The cover is beautiful. I can't wait to share it all with you. And if you're not already in the Spiral Weave, my membership space for starlight seekers and sacred schemers, come and join us. This is where the real magic is happening. You can join either here on YouTube as a monthly membership here, or you can go over to Substack, where I also write for free daily, and become a paid subscriber there, which gives you the Spiral Weave membership. And there's various benefits, but one of the main ones is an first Thursday of the month, ask me almost anything call, 90 minutes, where, at the moment, you're guaranteed to kind of getting your question answered. And if you can't attend live, I have a Google form to submit questions, and of course it's recorded. All right, so let's dive into the week. Yes, we pulled 3 powerful cards to anchor this journey: the King of Blades, the Queen, which was the card for the daily post I wrote today, and the Eight of Discs. But we'll come back to those for the full read of those right at the end, so stay around for the cards. Excuse me. June the 1st, Sunday. Oh, I've got to turn. Let me share my chart. That would help. And then I can point at what's happening. Can you believe it's June already? And heads up, moving ahead, I will be going to England, at the end of the month, from the 18th to, I think it's the 29th, we come back. So I'll try and do videos ahead for that, but I may have to take a break from some things. But anyway, so June the 1st, 2025, I'm just not worrying about the time, but I want to kind of tell you we've got the moon in Leo pretty much all day, and it's making all the calls. So the moon in Leo is aspecting Venus, Eris, and Chiron in Aries. And, excuse me. And the moon will also oppose Pallas Athena and Chariclo, which is not on here. I should get my extras on. I've got so much on at the moment. It's like, can I remember to do everything? Somehow I usually do. Anyway, while it's deciding to pick it up, Chariclo is in Aquarius, and the moon will oppose Chariclo. And there's various other shorter aspects. That is really kind of fired up, but I'll talk more about it in a minute. And it's an activation storm. Venus, Chiron, and Eris unite, asking you, can you hold the blade and the balm in the one hand, the same one? It's a really big day for artists, lovers, and those on a healing path. Ego and heart are tested, polished, and blessed, but it is really a bit of a showdown. It's very fiery. It's a real catalyst for change day, indeed. So let me add, there we go. There's Chariclo, couldn't leave her out. And I actually want to add asteroid Lilith. Let me go and do that. Oh, sorry, I should have been ready, but I can't start again because I've got a call soon. Anyway, so there's asteroid Lilith. That's her. That's Pallas Athena. That's Character. So you can see that the moon is making this big fiery opposition to all this Aquarius stuff. So the air is sparking up the moon, but also the moon is so close to Mars, and all of this is aspecting Chiron, Venus, and Eris, who are all at that same degree on the 1st. So it's a day for a catalyst for change. It's a day for courage. It's a day for powerful confrontations and artistry and your very healing roar. It's a very big day, to be honest. It's that much fire and air that is all speaking to each other is quite powerful. Anyway, on to June the 2nd. And I'm actually going to move it to earlier in the day. There we go. So we start Monday, June the 2nd. And I've called this one the Lilith Shift and Mars Character opposition. So asteroid Lilith, I'm glad I put her on, right? Because I knew I was going to talk about her. She spends a lot of the day at the last degree of Aquarius, but then slips into Pisces. And this is asteroid Lilith. I call her the talk to the hand Lilith. She is, by the way, this is meant to be a heart here. Anyway, she is a bit like a rebellious teenager because she's the only physical Lilith, and she is very much about saying, nope, I am not being put in the corner, that kind of thing. Anyway, but asteroid Lilith slipping into Pisces is more sensual, mysterious, and magical. And then Mars follows that moon from yesterday and opposes space holder or spinner of grace, Character. She is there. She recently went retrograde and Mars comes up and opposes her. This one is really asking you, where are you still trying to fix others instead of honoring your own energetic space? So this day is moving to a bit of softer rebellion after a start on Sunday, and about sacred defiance, but coming from that power within, and really about creating your energetic boundaries. On to Tuesday. Tuesday, June the 3rd, is the first quarter moon. So the sun is here at 12 Gemini and the moon is over here at 12 Virgo. And that happens to be right on my moon. So, oof. Anyway, so the moon in Virgo squares the Gemini sun. This is really the get moving moon. Fire and air pushing into the first quarter, the crossroads in action or crisis in action phase, time to really push towards the full moon a week later. But details matter. Edges surface. Mercury gets tangled too. So watch the over analysis. So hang on a second. Yeah, because the moon squares Mercury, of course. So, okay, so June the 4th. On June the 4th, you can see the moon is still in Virgo, has crossed the south node, and this really is a big transit day on June the 4th. There's the moon will aspect Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, and Ceres. That I've written the book about them. Yes, all of them, and they are all significant, slower moving powerhouses, right? So expect emotional pivots, visionary downloads, and we have a beautiful Venus, Jupiter, supportive aspect of opportunity kiss at the end of the day that really sweetens the chaos. But this really overall, though, is a day for tension and truth, overload, insight, like to so many ideas, quite chaotic and quite emotional weather. All right. On to July the 5th. and I've called that Mind on Fire, Heart on Board. So Thursday, June the 5th, we see that the moon moves into the sign of Libra, okay? And Mercury here in Gemini will actually make a supportive aspect to Mars and will also then square the lunar nodes. So let me get that aspect exact. And this is significant because the upcoming full moon on the 11th is also square the nodes, and right after the full moon, the sun will exactly square the nodes, and that period is the halfway point between eclipses and is called the moon wobble. And like this, almost like literally like a wrinkle in time, really, or like everything goes a little wobbly often around that time. So so on this day, oh yes, this is a fated dialogue moment, right? Mercury is strong in Gemini. It's their own sign. But what you say or don't say now really echoes. Remember that silence can be violence and, just as aggressive as actually speaking your truth to power. So this is a day for divine conversations and decisive words and real alignment. So write, speak, declare, and let your mind follow your soul's coordinates on June the 5th. On to Venus Day, and Venus Day, Friday, Venus slips into her own sign of Taurus earlier in the day, clearly. And she's had a long journey through Aries because she moved into Aries, then went retrograde, back into Pisces, and then slowly moved her way through Aries and now has left the building. But she's now moving fast. Venus has gained speed. And so things are going to really start to change. But the vibe shifts with Venus going into Taurus, from blazing to blooming. Taurus is really about growth and beauty and material goods and the senses and all things like gardening and touching and things smelling. Sensual grounding, embodiment is a good Taurus word as well, especially for Venus, and sacred logic. And the word sacred logic comes up because Mercury, again, we've got so much Mercury action this week with Mercury in its own sign, very strong. Mercury will trine Pallas Athena over here in Aquarius, and then Mercury will also make a sextile aspect early in the day, an aspect of opportunity and an unbroken flow aspect to Eris and then Chiron in Aries. So this is shaking tables a little bit, right? This is really about sacred disruption. Again, as I said, speak beauty, but make it sharp. There's bringing some strategy into the equation as well. So this is a day really for intuitive strategy. On to June the 7th, which is the Saturday and the last day of the week. So this day I've titled Haumea, Hecate and the Moon Venus Mirror, because as you can see, in fact, let me move the moon back a little bit. I need Haumea in there too. Oh goodness, I took all these things out to do my video with Kathy, and then sometimes I forget to add them back in. Because I have them in most of the time. So we need Haumea. She is regeneration and rebirth, and she's playing a major part in things at the moment. So, Haumea, there she is. Alrighty. So the keywords really for this day, for this Moon Venus mirror, and that's what I wanted to show you. The moon conjunct Haumea earlier in the day. There you go. You see the start of the day. And all of this is over here. The moon conjuncts Haumea, opposes Venus, and also, oh no, another one, also conjuncts Hecate first, right? In fact, let's change that to moon conjunct Hecate, just at this turn of the day. But this is opposing Venus, right? So all of this is speaking to each other, and add Black Moon Lilith into the mix a little bit as well, right? Because she's hovering around. So this is an underworld moment with a honeyed edge. This is a day to choose devotion over drama, power over performance. And it's a day of thresholds, rebirth, but it's also got some shadow and bittersweetness and sweetness as well. So it's kind of deep day, actually, June the 7th, next Saturday, as these oppose each other. Hecate is the way shower, the goddess of the crossroads. Haumea is really literally regeneration. And there's Venus in Taurus, sticking to her roots, her core values, and her connection with the physical senses in the world, including money, by the way. So let's go to the cards. But before I do, I just want to give you a kind of little reminder to join the Spiral Weave. That's my sacred membership for Cosmic Rebels, Starry Seekers, and Soul Weavers. It includes astrology, monthly calls, as I said, tarot, and wild cosmic love, and Weaver's Notes. You get those too. You could find out what they are. And also a reminder about my upcoming book series in astrology, Nourishment, Power, and the Rebirth of the Feminine. It will drop July the 13th, so stay tuned for pre-order info, sneak peeks, and extras. The Earth is rising, and she's speaking through Ceres. Will you answer? And incidentally, Ceres is right over here at the moment in Aries. This the perfect sign for launching a book on her. All right, let's go back to these cards. Let me stop the share. So we have the King of Blades. This, I told you there was quite a lot of Mercury action, and Mercury's strong in Gemini, which is their own sign. This is a week to wield your words like magic. You know more than you think, and precision is power. Oops, there we go, that way up. That's the King of Blades. And then we have the Queen, which incidentally was the card that I pulled for my daily post today as I record this on Venus Day. This is about holding your throne with compassion. This is about knowing that you are the weaver and the witness. And in many ways, this could be Venus in Taurus, right? And then the Eight of Discs. Here's the Eight of Discs. This reminds us that mastery is devotion in motion. It's a reminder to keep showing up for what matters, and that your craft is your prayer. So this is a week to walk with power, speak with clarity, and heal with fire. You're not just reacting, you are refining, all right? You know, this is, we are really kind of reaching this pivot point. Things are going to start to change. Keep watching this space, watching me and Cassie. Watch her videos too if you have time. We can't watch them all. And hopefully now I've got my book written and out in the world for being formatted, I may, as well as doing all the other things I do, get back to doing videos for like Saturn in Aries for myself, and all these shifts of signs and so on and so forth, as well as my weekly forecasts. But if you want my daily really detailed forecasts, go and subscribe to Substack. Those posts are free. You don't have to become a Spiral Weave member for those, but I'd love to have you. And so a reminder that first Thursdays are the Ask Me Almost Anything calls in the Spiral Weave, and there is a Google form to fill out with details and questions if you can't attend live. So much love. Mwah. Or first Thursday, that means it's next week. Love you.